last presentation of the last day. And today, here in front of you is a little comparative. And I would like to analyze two books and the connections between Natyashastra and Poetics, written by Bharatmuni and Aristotle. The first question that is also solved by all the friends that what is comparative literature? It's a kind of truth activity that we do every day, but now it is marching towards as a discipline of study in our study also. So Natyashastra and Poetics, that is written by Bharatmuni and Aristotle. What is the connection and what is the contrast between both of them? First, the Genesis. They both work as a backbone to propound the theory of literature in the respective areas. Systematic exposition of Indian poetics is traced back to the Sanskrit works like Itihas, Ved, etc. But the systematic exposition came with the Bharatmuni's Natyashastra. In the same way, in the Western literary theory, it is traced back to the Homeric kind, but the systematic genesis of it found in the works of Plato and Aristotle. When we try to compare something, what we do is the threefold activity. That we try to find the similarities in them, we try to find the contrast and how the contrast and similarities are used with that. So the three types of relationship is found in the comparative literature. How it is applied to both these books, that is the first is similarities. What are the similarities in the book? That we try to find from the comparison. The another is contradictions. What are the differences? And third is mutual complementary between both of them. In similarities, we find four types of things major in these two books. First of all, both the disciplines have the genesis in some type of religion, metaphysics, or ethics. That Natyashastra holds back to the dramatic art written by Brahma. And you can't understand Aristotle's poetics without the knowledge of Greek philosophy. So they both have the genesis in ethics and metaphysics. Secondly, both are written in dialogue form, that with the help of interlocutors, the writer tries to propound their ideas. Mimesis and Anugrah. The concept of mimesis in Aristotle's Poetics and Anugrah in Bharatmuni's Natyashastra, they told that life as it is and character as they are, whether good or bad, or how they ought to be or they thought to be, they are presented in both the books. Then, function of poetry. This is more important in both the works. That Western poetics stress on the function as a pleasure, delight, and as well as an instruction. That delight is the chief, but not only the function of literature. That's what Dryden says. And the same thing is told by Bharatmuni also, by the words like Hitopdesh Jana, Vishranti Jana, and Vinodena Jana. That means to instruct, to delight, and to release. Three types of functions that are similar in both the books. And in contradictions, the main part that attracted me the most is the reflection of life. That both the books take the aspect of life and dissect them, but the way is different and totally contrast. That Western poetics deals with life as a person in itself and the end in itself. That is a time clockwise narrative. That a person is a self-individual and his end in itself. So his death is end in itself. That is at the backbone of tragedy of Western poetry. That a single mistake of a person is not pardonable. He is pardoned. The concept of hamartia emerges in tragedy of Western poetry. But in Indian poetics, even Rakshas and devils can get moksha. That Vargrohan concept is everywhere at the end of our mythologies and books, in our dramatic art. So, in our Indian poetics, the circle of death and life is a cycle. That death is a natural process, and good and evil, both the things are natural in life. But in Western poetics, they are not allowed to do a single mistake in life. However, a person is a good one, but he is not allowed to commit a single mistake. And whether in his contradiction, we accept even the devil as a human being, and we give him the chance of moksha. So that is the most important contrast in the dramatic art of Natyashastra and poetics. And at last, mutual complementary. That certain concepts like dhvani, the concept of auspicious or vakrokti, they are not found similarly in the Aristotle's poetry, and the concept of catharsis exactly are not found in the Indian poetry. So we try to mutual the things. We try to analyze other books, our Indian books to Western poetry, and the books of West to our Indian poetry. So if we take the example of this mutual supplementary, it will be done in more singular way, that we take benefit of that of both.